So we've got a bit of a challenge ahead of us. In this series we are going to do sort of a build a city challenge in a post-apocalyptic world. These Sims recently arrived at the settlement out in the wilderness and they need to get a food and resource supply going to keep themselves alive and to build up their settlement so they can survive their first winter here and start building houses from the wood and stone that they will collect. There are so many games that inspired this setup and also some existing Sims 2 challenges out there that really inspired me, but the thing that drove me to build and design this challenge is mostly that I really wanted to combine all of my favorite parts of all of my favorite games into one big survival and crafting game, using the Sims as survivors and ultimately building a town with thriving businesses that these Sims get to run, also incorporating the tycoon genre into this, which was really my first love in gaming all those years ago. If at any point during this Let's Play you have any questions about the rules, mods or anything that you see and that I am not explaining, let me know in the comments and I will do my best to answer it or show you where I found it. This hood is heavily modded, defaulted and adjusted in almost every way that I could think of, so it would mean too many interruptions to the gameplay to point out all of it during the episodes. But I'm happy to answer any of your questions or anything that you want to know about it. And if you've played any of these games that I try to incorporate into this one, you will probably recognize them without me making corny jokes about arrows in knees, sweet rolls being stolen, punching wood or finding abandoned mine shafts, war never changing, starting out with 15 parsnip seeds, or honestly, the biggest one would be saying, there might still be some folks out there who need our help. If you want to check it out, it should be on your map. But I won't. We do, however, really need to find more survivors out there, because more survivors means more power to keep the area safe, and even though things have calmed down and there is no imminent threat, we will need our defenses up soon. So what we actually know about these Sims is that they arrived here looking for food and shelter, and the only thing that they brought with them is this cart filled with only a few tools and their last food rations. Who knows what our survivors have been through before this, what they have lost, what happened to them, or what they have seen. Could be a fast-spreading disease that crippled the world, could be war, could be zombies, could be a nuclear disaster, or it could just be everyone flushing the toilet at the exact same time during halftime of a major sports event, resulting in a dropping of water pressure, which caused all nuclear power plants in the area to melt down, ending society as we know it. And it could just be all of the above. All we know is they are here and we get to follow their attempts to make a life for themselves in this new world. Things have calmed down enough for them to use this place to try and rebuild society again. And this is where this challenge is going to be a bit different from the usual Build a City challenge rules. In order for their settlement to grow, they will need to find more survivors that might be hiding in some abandoned buildings in the surrounding area. And the way that we are going to get access to those buildings and those subhoods is by doing a dice roll every morning at 7 AM. There is sort of a technology tree, which means that we need certain careers or jobs first before we can unlock others. And the way to unlock these careers or jobs is to find Sims with the corresponding skills. So this daily dice roll at 7 AM in the morning is going to decide which building we are going to explore on our next scavenging run, which we will do every few days. And the dice roll is also going to decide what items or resources I am allowed to add to the building that they are going to visit, and what unique finds the scavenging crew might come across in those buildings to bring back to the settlement. So a dog would be nice, for example, or a horse or a car that they can fix, just to name a few. They could also find bags of coffee or sugar or anything edible, and they are allowed to bring all those items home. Now, I hope this wasn't too long of an introduction. We are nearly there and ready to start. I was tempted to actually put in zombies and the ability to fight them, but after some consideration I decided that was not what I wanted for this channel. So we are staying within the feel-good vibes that you have been used to from me so far. I should however say that there are real threats in this hood. Winters here can be very hard and harsh, diseases might strike, and with medicine and modern healthcare gone, this poses a real threat and they will need better housing and lots of firewood to keep them warm. So our first order of business will definitely be to build the first 4 houses before winter starts. Alright, so our survivors are all ready to go. We have our 4 scavengers right here, our 2 woodcutters, our 2 miners, and then a mechanic, 2 academics, and a creative sim. And I'm pretty sure that these Sims need little to no introduction, so let's do a quick overview of the lot. and then send them on their way. So this is basically an abandoned old farm building, and let's close that. So we have like the living area right here, and then this old abandoned shed where they had their workbenches and stuff. There's scrap and mess and wreckage and trash and stuff like all over the place. We have like a bedroom right here. There are some old mattresses, some old laundry and stuff like that. They have to clean up everything in order for them to like build better beds and stuff. They have an empty hallway right here, a chamber pot. And this is actually just for decoration. There is no running water, so they won't be able to take a shower anywhere. We have a separate room where they can clean up, so once we get some buckets of water, they can actually clean themselves. And then we have the kitchen living area, and it's really empty right now. We have this old couch, which is actually just a basic Maxis couch. The rest of it is mostly CC. We've got a lot of like grungy, trashy, post-apocalyptic stuff that I have found everywhere and nowhere online. Funny detail, we have these electric sockets, I guess, and lighting switches. Yeah, I have never put these in any of my builds, and now that we have built a neighborhood, a world where there is no electricity and no running water, I decided to put these in. So they're just for decoration. A little bit of trash right here, and in this corner, in the future, there's going to be like a drawing table and just a place where they can sketch and think about new technological advancements and stuff like that. Outside there's an old kiln, I guess it's called, the oven where they can make their pottery, and a pottery wheel. This cooking pot, so this is where they can actually cook some dinner. And in the back we have this, it's not the easiest thing navigating between these trees with the camera, but I'm trying, I'll do my best. I'm sorry if you're feeling dizzy already. So yeah, there's, this is all just decoration, just a lot of old crappy items, and yeah, there's just, this of course won't work because there's no electricity, but I thought it was cool to put it in. We have an anvil, we have workbenches, we have basically everything that looks like they were thrown back in time, to a time where there was no electricity, and they have to like reinvent and craft everything that they need themselves. Some old shelves, we can replace these. Once they've chopped down some trees and we have actual wooden planks, we can build them some new shelving, which is what we're going to do. Yeah, so this is going to be sort of like a storage area. This can be like maybe even a crafting area, or we can put some sitting, like a few benches out here. It's not going to be too cozy, just the basic needs that well, we'll keep them alive, really. Yeah. And then right here in the shed is really all kinds of crap. So there are some useful items in here. I threw in some coffee and sugar and other useful items, but to be honest, it's going to be like a scavenging hunt for myself, because I have no idea where I put anything. So we're just going to have to clean it up and see what is behind the mess. And in this car, this old car, it's just for decoration, and I thought it looked really cool, but it's also really, really, really convenient to put the time clock behind the wheel. We have a visitor controller right here, and as you can see, all sim types, all critters, and all NPCs are banned, because we don't want anything or anyone on this lot visiting, because they're in an abandoned area. There's nobody else here, so we can't have that. There's a sim blender, and I think this is the ACR adjuster. So all the necessary items are in there. And of course they didn't arrive here empty-handed. They had a long journey, and they ran out of food, they ran out of options, I guess. And when they were tired and hungry, they found this place and decided to stay here. So this is the cart that they came here with. And as you can see, there are a lot of items in here because I'm using a mod where they can only throw a ball when they actually have a ball in their inventory. So we're going to divide these between them. There are some shovels, which they are definitely going to need to dig for treasures, which is going to kind of represent the scavenging hunts that they're going on. And there's other stuff to kind of make the scavenging runs be like really random and cool, but they are also going to need the shovels. We have a pickaxe, an axe, and 2 baskets, and I think I don't remember what this is called. A broom and dustpan, right, to collect the ashes anyway. So whenever there's a fire, it produces ashes, and they can collect the ashes because they are going to need that to craft other things. And this is the big jar of food that they had left. So this is actually their last rations, 300 items of food, or 300 food points anyway, which is all they have. And they are going to starve to death if they don't find better and more food. So there's actual threats in this game. It's it's really not an easy life that they're going to have, but I'm really looking forward to the challenge. So yeah, like I said, we have 4 scavengers, we have 2 woodcutters, 2 miners, and then a mechanic, 2 academics, and a creative sim. And the reason I gave them these survivor types is because this actually also determines which skills they are going to roll for. There are 2 things that determine which skills they get. The first one is the survivor type, so they get a certain set of skill points that they can roll for. So for example, a scavenger gets a different set of skills than a woodcutter. And the second thing is the traits. So I'm using the trait system very heavily, I think I should say. So each adult gets 4 traits, and I made a spreadsheet where all of these traits are kind of like linked to either a major or a badge or something else that is going to give them skills, but most of them are just neutral or even negative. So the neutral and the negative ones don't do anything. I think that's more than 50% of them, and a few of them give them extra traits and a major or a badge, or both. So for example, the perfectionist trait gives you a major in architecture. And also 4 mechanical points. So 4 points in mechanical skill, I should say. So Abhijit had the major, architecture major, so he had 4 points in mechanical. And then he is a mechanic, so he also rolled for the mechanical skill next to logical and creative skills. So that gave him... He's actually the sim with the least amount of points in this entire group. There are 12 sims, and they can get the maximum points that they can get, skill points, is 16, because they roll for 8. If they are lucky, they get 8 skill points. They have the possibility of getting an additional 4 points for either a major or badge, and they can get both. So they can have 8 skill points, 4 points with their major and 4 points with their badge, which gives them 16. Within this group, the highest number of skill points is actually Sandy with 14 and Marilena with 14. Nobody rolled 16. So yeah, I thought this was a really fun way of randomizing their skills. So they just roll for... Well, actually, you can't see it, but right here on the wall is the trait randomizer. And you can randomize their traits and give them... So it's actually a really easy way to randomize them, and then just give them the matching skills to their traits. So as you can see, they don't have much in their inventory. They have their traits, and some of them have an extra item because it came with one of the traits that they had. So Brandy, for example, is a natural cook. I gave that trait to her. She didn't roll it. I gave myself 12 exceptions to roll for a new wand. To roll for a new trait if I didn't like the ones that they got. I gave Brandy a natural cook because I can't see her as anything else than that. So yeah, that's why. So Brandon, for example, he's brooding, unstable, charismatic, and a great kisser. He doesn't have any other items. And Branda, which was of course Brandy Letourneau, I didn't want to have like 2 Sims with the same name in the first 12, so I renamed her to Brenda, which I think kind of suits her. She is good, she is handy, she's a perfectionist, and adventurous. So some cool traits for her, I guess. Christy, who is going to be in charge of the food supply. We have Goopy, who is a miner, together with Melissa. And then John, who has a drafting table, not necessarily for him. And they cannot, I just gave him that as a reminder, and because I used hiders, so I cannot place it after, I couldn't place it after we started playing. But they can only build this if they have the necessary wooden planks for that. So until that time, we will keep it in his inventory. Kennedy, for some reason, has this thing. I don't want to sell it because that's going to add to their funds, so we're just going to let him have it for now. Komei, who is socially awkward, a heavy sleeper, brave, and has a green thumb. So the green thumb will definitely come in handy, and that's actually also what gave him 4 points in cleaning. So that's pretty cool. He also has the highest body skill of all of these Sims right here, of all of these survivors. So he's probably going to be mostly in charge of chopping down the trees and collecting all of the wood that they are going to need to rebuild this settlement. We're gonna keep Marilena for last. Melissa, who also has a green thumb, is grumpy, also unstable. They've had a hard time. Most of them are unstable. But no, they really just rolled for that. It's a coincidence. And she loves the cold, which also is going to come in handy when she's going to be out on scavenging runs. When winter is when we are going to get closer to winter. And then last is Sandy Birdie, who's a schmoozer, has a star quality, because of course she does, and avant-garde trait and perceptive. So she's actually the academic of the lot. She has the highest logic skill and also creative. So she's probably going to fulfill one of the first necessary jobs that is going to advance this town to the next level. Any new survivors that they meet on their scavenging runs and that are brought back to the settlement will also have these randomized traits. And since we need certain skills to unlock certain career paths, we'll need some luck finding the right people to add to our community. So yeah, that's going to be really cool to see. And I actually, myself, I don't know how it's going to continue yet. So I do have a set of rules worked out, but a lot of it is going to be RNG based, so we'll see. And then we have Marilena. For now, she is like the leader of the scavengers, I guess. She's or maybe just the scavenger with the best leadership skills. She's charismatic. She is creative. She has 2 points in cleaning, 2 body skill, and 2 points in cooking. So she's very diverse, and she has a silver badge in sewing. So I don't know if she's going to use it, but she rolled for it, so there we go. And she actually holds a lot of the items that they're going to need on their scavenging runs in her backpack. So she has a trait, she's a workaholic, she's a hydrophobic, she loves the cold, and she is a night owl. She has their tent. So they are going to use that when they go on scavenging runs and when they go and visit the quarry in the forest and search for resources and stuff. And this actually represents just a set of the items that they probably would have come in with, because they have been traveling and they probably have like a really long journey behind them, and they would have had all these items to survive and to sleep while they were finding their way to this place. So yeah, they have 4 sleeping bags. These are actually functional sleeping bags. I think they're really cool looking. The animation is kind of funny. They just drop down, but it works. So I really wanted to use these. They have a light, a chamber pot, because they have to go somewhere. And of course they can just, like, realistically they can just go behind the bushes and stuff. But Sims can't do that, so we have a chamber pot for that. We have some items so they can make a fire, and I think this is a... yeah, that's a visitor controller. That's just for me, for whenever I forget to place one in one of the new lots that they're going to visit. And I just had to put these in. They have 6 sweet rolls. So yeah. And these sweet rolls are actually one of the last things that they can actually eat. The last items from their rations. And they are going to have to survive their first day on these sweet rolls until they find berries and mushrooms and stuff. So yeah. With that, I guess it is time to start dividing these items that they came in with. So I'm going to check my spreadsheet. I'll give them all the items that they are going to need or need for their hobby. Alright, so we have divided everything that they need. And I'm still contemplating how I want to do their inventory management. But I think that all of these Sims are going to have like 2 pages of items that they can hold, including their traits. So that's like 16 items, including their traits. And the scavengers might get 24 items, including their traits. Just an idea. I'll see how it works, and we'll take it from there. So with all of that out of the way, it is time to start dividing their chores on their first day. So we've got Brandon and Comey, the woodcutters, who can start by chopping down these trees. I think I want them to collect this stuff. I'm not sure if and what we're going to use it for, but we're going to collect it. The branches will be very useful when we start making fires, but I'm not sure what the bird's nests are for. Then we've got Jumper. He was actually John Montgomery, right? I changed his name. I should really remember that. I thought Montgomery would be a better name for this playthrough. Let's start by just digging for clay just a few times to get them started. And he is actually one of the Sims that is probably going to be the leader of the group. It's either going to be him or Brandon. They both have a political science major. But we'll see how it goes. Then we've got Brandy, the actual Brandy, so not Brenda. What I want her to do is actually make many group meals. Oh, she can make a lot of stuff. What else can she make? It's a dandelion salad. Okay, so I want them to make salads whenever they get their garden going. But for now, I think they would have like a few items that a soup, you can pretty much make a soup out of anything. So she's going to make a few batches of Grandma's comfort soup. She has, she has a high enough cooking skill, so she probably won't ruin it, but we'll see if she burns it. Then we've got Abhijit. He can start just, wait, let me adjust this. He can start digging for treasure, and we can actually use this mod to make him do that continuously. He does need his shovel for that, so with the mods that I'm using, not just anyone can dig for treasure. You actually need the shovel for that. And then Christy, who is going to be in charge of most of the food in the gardens, she is going to plant tomatoes, and they will start out with 12 tomato seeds, and she can plant pretty much anything, but I thought it would be like a cool start to let them start out with just 12 seeds. So she's going to plant many tomatoes. Okay. And the other ones, so Marilena and the other scavengers and a few miners are going to go to the quarry and start searching for resources and start scavenging. They will be back tonight, so let's send them there. She's going to take, let me see, right. So those were the ones who didn't have chores at home yet, so they are going to go to the quarry, and we will see them all later. Here we can see everyone getting to work. Isn't that just so cool? Alright, now that we have arrived here, first things first, you can already see that I've created a few more survivors and they are not supposed to be here. So we've hidden the time control clock right here. I want to set this to 80 because it's also at 80 at the home lot. I will give you a quick tour of the quarry a little later. I just want to fix these things first. We're going to ban all critters. We're going to ban all NPCs, and we are going to just ban all other sims, and that should really get rid of Franklin right there. I will see him later, but he's not supposed to be here. Let's see, yeah, we're all ready to go. Let's get rid of, there we go. They're all walking right through the stones, don't mind that. So down here we've got an actual stone quarry, so they can go down here and mine for stone and resources. We've also got 2 abandoned mine shafts. If they go in there, they are going to stay in there for 8 hours and just mine away straight on, and they come out of it after 8 hours of work with buckets of resources. We have a little fishing spot right here, and all along the backside there are more rocks and more stone to gather resources from. There's not that much else really. There's no food. We have a few bushes, but really nothing edible. They can actually harvest these mud fruit things, but only in summer, I think. So it's spring right now. We have still 6 more days in spring, so they won't be able to eat anything. So luckily they have their sweet rolls, and that's actually what they are going to need to survive this day. So let's set up the tent. Let's not forget to bring it home at the end of the day. If we leave it here, we lose it. Is this the front? No, this is the front. So we're gonna put the tent right here. Yeah, let's just get this out of here. We need a chamber pot for them to actually empty their bladder in a way that they're not going to soil themselves. So let's just put it here, and let's put out some sleeping bags here, and the light next to the tent. I guess that's perfectly fine. What's that? Oh right, that's Marilyn's shovel. Yeah, that's basically all that we need for now. We'll get the sweet rolls out. We'll just put them here. I don't think they will spoil, but I'm not sure. Okay, so let's have Sandy test out if they can. No, let's have Kennedy test out if they can actually use the chamber pot. And then he can You really have to know, but there is a stone right here that is going to give them some bait. So he is going to collect some worms and he is going to fish for the rest of the day. Then Marilena, she can go probably right around here somewhere, maybe a little bit more there, and just dig for treasure. They can find like endless amounts of usable stuff, so that is why I decided to put a restriction on that. Whenever they have searched or scavenged for items by digging for treasure for 2 times 8 hours, so basically 16 hours, so they can go to the quarry twice, or they can dig with 2 sims for 8 hours. After they've done that, they've exhausted the lot, so they've found everything that there is to be found here, and they're not going to find anything new. So that's the restriction on that. So it's going to look like they're going to find lots and lots of usable items, and they are, but that's actually the maximum that they can find. We're going to dig for treasure with 2 sims today for 8 hours, and that's it. We can never go back to the quarry to dig for treasure again. I have a little, I'm actually using a notebook for a lot of these things, so I'm not using a spreadsheet for most of it, but I will be keeping notes in my notebook to actually track which lots are going to be exhausted. Let's see, what else? Yeah, let's just send them to their chores. So Brenda can, yeah, so we've got Goopy. I guess he will be... we don't really need the clay, but let's just get some clay, and he can mine for stone. So let's just send him here, and he can just mine for stone repeatedly until he really needs to use the bathroom. And I've used all of their aspiration perks, aspiration benefits, I should say. So it's really the maximum that they can get in terms of managing their needs and stuff. Right, Melissa can also do some fishing. So she would also have to get some bait. And then she can go here and do some, there we go, fishing. I actually want Sandy to collect water. I'm not sure how much they can get out of here. It's like a limited water source, so they can get water out of it, but I'm not sure how much. So let's go and see. After that, she can use the chamber pot, and then she can start digging for treasure. Who else do we have? We have Brenda. I want her to go and dig for coal right here. Mine for mineral coal, and she can do that repeatedly. Coal, mineral, coal, and yeah, so she's going to do coal, he's going to do stone. We are going to need one more sim who's going to mine for iron actually, but I guess it's going to be either Brenda or Goopy after they are done with their first chores. So yeah, let's see what they're going to do. So it's a pretty long way down for Goopy. Once he gets there, he is like at the bottom of the quarry. And he can start digging for stuff, mining for stuff. Let's see, Kennedy has, I guess, used the chamber pot. Yeah, he did use the chamber pot. Okay, cool. So that works. They can actually sit here. Melissa seems to be fishing on the wrong side of the... we're gonna need to adjust that. Right, so Sandy has used the chamber pot, and she can now... Right, I want her to dig for treasure too. So both Marilena and Sandy are going to dig for treasure for 8 hours straight. So they are going to have to stop around, let's say at 5 o'clock max. So 17. So that's really all there's to it. So we're going to follow these Sims on this day. Let's see what they will be able to find and gather in one day. Oh, Sandy has found an artichoke. That's the first plant. That's exactly what we need to start our first garden. Let's see how Kennedy is doing. Oh, he fell down. Wait, I wanna adjust this a little. You can go use the chamber pot. Because this looks really weird and I can just adjust it. There we go. Oh, not that one. I think if we place it right there, it's going to, oh, maybe the other way around. I think it's going to be better. So let's just test it after she's done with the chamber pot. Let's see, Kennedy's traits are... Right, he's handy, he's a coward, he's grumpy, but he is an angler. I'm not sure if these traits actually have an effect on the Sun and Moon fishing mod. I could check, we could check, but I'm, oh, nope, that's the wrong side. That's the wrong way. Okay, stop doing that. Okay. I did cancel the enemy. There we go. So let's put it this way. And now you should be able to go and fish, right? Wrong. No, I'm right. Okay, good. We can finally enjoy a good day of fishing and digging. We should take a picture of this. Oh, and Melissa is talking about home, how she misses it. Let's go and check what Brenda and Koopy are doing. Let's see. Because we do need our Sims to like work on gathering resources as much as they can. So yeah, after she's done mining there, she can use the chamber pot and collect a little bit more water, I guess. How much water did Sandy get? 2 buckets, so 1 for each, I guess. 6 more. Yeah, it would be nice if they could go home with like 12 buckets of water so everyone can wash themselves tonight when they get home or in the morning. And Goopy, he could really start mining for iron. No, because he doesn't have the necessary skills for that. Oh. Does he need mechanical or body? I'm not even sure. Wait. She can, so yeah, it's still either mechanical or body. Okay, so she is going to dig for iron, and Goopy can go and fetch the water. And after that, he probably should use the chamber pot, and maybe he can go and take a quick nap. He could eat his sweet roll and then take a quick nap. I guess that's better. Yes. Okay.
Tubes.
So they started finding like really large appliances and stuff. The way I want to go about it is they can take it home, but they're going to take them apart for parts, and they can actually wow, this is really worth too much. 550. Well, anyway, they're going to take it apart and use the parts to build other stuff. So they are not going to use these appliances. And I'm really hoping that they will find more plants for their garden, because I do want to start their garden on the first day or on the second day, really. So far we found a tomato plant and an artichoke plant. Well, it's something, I guess. How are we doing on inventory space? So if I wanted to have 2 pages, that's more than enough for Brandy. For Goopy also. And Kennedy. Yep. Melissa probably 2. Yeah, she's in 1 page. Yeah, so 1, 2. The only one that is not that's going to need more space is Marilena. But she can always, once they've eaten the sweet rolls, yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Okay. Okay. So let's continue.
Hazab! Bobazab.
Oh shit! Jennifer.
And as we can see, Goopy was actually attracted to Brenda, which is nice because they are supposed to be together at the end of this first phase, and yeah, start a family. So she is not going to be able to mine for this long. She can do one of these and then eat her sweet roll and then go and get some sleep. I think Kennedy and Melissa are actually doing really good, so they could potentially just get the water after they're done fishing. Beans. Sandy has found beans. Okay. And the milk thistle. Goopy is enjoying the last part of his sweet roll. And then he is going to get some sleep. So he can take a quick nap, and when he wakes up he can gather a little bit more coal. We should probably wake him up around 4, I guess. And they can stay here until dark. At least that's what I thought. Here comes Brenda. She's going to enjoy her cake. And then pass out. She can eat the rest of it after she wakes up. So fishing is a lot less draining on their energy as digging and mining and stuff, so they can go a lot longer without taking breaks, but they should, however, eat something. So we're just going to get 2 more sweet rolls and give those to Kennedy and Melissa. So after they've gotten their water, they can eat something. Let's see how much water she can get. Is that all? Yeah, this looks like it is exhausted. So that was the limited water supply that they could get today. Maybe under this? Nope. That's all. That's all they could get. Kennedy's just gonna throw a fit, but he can fish there. It works perfectly fine. And they actually work on their body skill while they're fishing. They probably are building a relationship too. Yeah, they are actually pretty good friends now, so. Let's see how Marlena is doing. They're still going strong. I will order them to stop digging around 5 o'clock. So they've got 1 more hour, and then they can eat their sweet roll and continue on home after they've packed up everything that they need. We're supposed to wake up Goopy and Brenda. And we wanted her to go and mine for iron. I'm not sure how much she can get and how much we already have. Let's see, we've got 16 buckets of coal, 2 fossil rocks, and 4 buckets of iron. It's not that bad. Another geode. This is actually, the healing crystal is actually going to come in really handy for the time being when we don't have any medicine and anything else that can cure them. They can use healing crystals for that. And Goopy has, right, 7 stone. Let's go for 1 more. What was he doing? I think we have enough coal. Let's just do this. And I'm gonna check once more to see if they can get more water. They can actually. So the hitbox on this thing is a little it's a little tricky. Maybe they just can't do it like more times in a row. Is that it? They would probably have to wait a little bit. I guess that's it. What are you doing? You're gonna talk to Kennedy. No, you don't have to talk to Kennedy. He's fine. And we don't really need any sand, but I'm going to take some sand anyway. Just now that we're here. Oh, and it's 5 o'clock. They should stop digging. And we have officially exhausted this lot. And we cannot dig for treasure here anymore. So yeah, let's see what we got. We got a lot of items. Now Sandy technically doesn't have a backpack. So if we wanted to do this right, we would have to like adjust these items and give them to someone else. But I could have just given her a backpack today. But you know, just so I won't go insane, I will not continue with the rule that they can only have 2 pages of items. The scavengers that are going to go out and scavenge for 8 hours they are allowed to bring back anything that they found. There's going to be a lot of crap and there's going to be a lot of inventory management. Wow, that's worth a lot. So there's going to be a lot of inventory management when they come back, but I will do that mostly offline. Unless you would really want to see what I'm doing with all these inventory items. So yeah, in which case, please let me know in the comments. We did find a lot of cool items though, a lot of things that they can actually use. So we found a lot of plants, a lot of things that we can use for parts. And we are not going to sell anything for money because there is nobody to sell it to. The only thing that we can do is when we craft items, we can like use these parts. So the value of the items is actually more representative of the number of parts that we can use for other items, I guess. Some of the items we can actually use the way they are. Some decorations, lamps, and anything using electricity obviously won't work. So there's really no use for those. We can just scrap those. They are going to find some vegetables and stuff. So as long as we can preserve them, they will be fine using them. Burglary alarm, also electricity won't work, and there's no cops to come running, so basically useless. The only thing that we could do is leave the items here, and they will just be gone. They will just be gone when we come back. So we could do that, but we can't sell them because obviously they will get money in return, and yeah. Okay, so it's time to finish up the day. Maybe Marilena and Sandy can just... No, I meant... they can just... Yeah, you need a shower. I know you need a shower. We've got water to take a shower when you come home. I think Marilena and Sandy could just have a conversation. Oh, I forgot Marilena is bisexual, but Sandy's not though, so... Yep. And oh wow, I'm using the new lightning mod. Look how cool this looks. That is awesome. That really is awesome. That looks so good. Okay, once it turns 7, we really have to go. We really have to leave. Yeah, so let's check for water once more, and after that we can just go home. Let's see. Black water. And let's see how many fish they caught. I haven't checked that yet. He used 8 worms. So yeah, he caught 8. He caught 8 largemouth bass. Melissa 3. And 13 stinky boots. Okay, so we've got a lot of leather. Let's look on the bright side. And 3 fish. Yeah. That's really not a lot. Maybe she could try one more. And Kennedy can... Yeah, you can just use the chamber pot, that's alright. I think it's the only one that didn't use it yet. Okay, everyone's exhausted. It's 7 o'clock, it's really getting dark, and they are going to return home. Oh, and before I forget, I am going to forget this. I'm sure I'm going to forget this more than once. Please come out of the tent. We need to take the tent home because otherwise it's gone. It'll be gone. Whatever we leave here, it's gonna be gone. So we're gonna take the tent and take the 2 more sleeping bags and the chamber pot. I guess that's it. That's everything that we had with us. I left the couch here because I think that's the only, well, at least one of the items that is completely unrealistic that they would be able to drag this home. We don't really need it, so we're just going to leave it here. But basically everything else they found they can take with them. And Melissa's still fishing. You can stop now, you probably won't catch anything anyway. You're not really good at it, I'm sorry. So it did make a lot of difference that probably the trait that Kennedy has, that he's an angler. He really did catch a lot more fish than Melissa did. He probably has more body skill too. Melissa has 3. Kennedy has 2, so the body skill didn't really make any difference, but the angler trait probably really did. So we're back at the settlement at 8 o'clock this morning when the others left. They're going to be home in 12 hours, so basically around 8 o'clock in the evening. And now it's time to go and play the day of the 6 survivors that stayed at home, because they are also going to work on cleaning up the settlement, gathering resources, tidying everything, and making it a little bit more like a place that they can actually live. So yeah. I hope you enjoyed watching this first episode of our Build a City challenge in a post-apocalyptic world. Like, subscribe if you want to see more, be sure to click the bell if you don't want to miss the next episode. And I promise there won't be as much time in between episodes as in my other series on this channel. As always, I want to thank you for spending time with me, following these survivors on their way to rebuild society in a new world. And do let me know if you recognized any of the game references that were incorporated at the start. I would love to hear if you played any of these games too. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!